Greetings to you, Your Excellency. Thank you for this great honor to meet with me and my wife. We appreciate your leadership in the strong Pan-African spirit that has enabled you to take a center role in uniting Africa. And we also appreciate what you have done regarding the diaspora and asking Africans, people of African descent to return back to Africa so that we can now rebuild Africa the way that it was supposed to be. I'm very happy with being here as a result of Honorable Frank and Isaac Kagosi, who wanted to make sure that these things would take place. I've heard about Uganda most of my life, the same way that everyone else heard about Uganda. In looking at movies about the gorillas and all of those things, and you hear stories of the past president that were here. But then you hear stories about what you have done in trying to keep the resources of Uganda here in the country and make sure that the people of Uganda are able to prosper and this land is no longer raped and taken, the properties taken away and given to other people. You know, I was born Terrence Deshaun Howard. I've become an actor. You know, I've been nominated for Oscars and Golden Globes and SAG Awards, but those weren't the things that really moved me. As a child, I studied chemical engineering at Pratt Institute, was there for 2 years until I saw that there was an inconsistency with the math there. And so I went out to explore a new way of understanding how the universe works, and I was able to define the grand unified field equation they've been looking for and put it into geometry. And then with that geometry, I was able to put props on that. And what I'm saying is now we have invented a new form of flight that I would like to bring here to Uganda to replace the drones, to replace the helicopters, to replace the planes. We have all the funding necessary. What we need is just a fertile ground in which to build this. Now, this is the geometry of hydrogen. Of hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
This is the proton itself. So any bond that hydrogen can make, our linchpins are able to make. So we're talking about unlimited bonding, unlimited predictable structures, supersymmetry. And the linchpins are now able to behave as a swarm, as a colony that can defend a nation, that can harvest food, that can remove plastics from the ocean, that can give the children of Uganda and the people of Uganda an opportunity to spread this and to sell these products throughout the world. So we are no longer just selling agricultural products and pieces from the land. We can now sell and take center stage with technology. But the main purpose is to defend the sovereignty of a peaceful place and a peaceful people without having to have our young men lose their lives. It's an incredible new technology that I want to develop here.
So the hydrogen, what does it do, the hydrogen?
Well, what I'm saying is this is the geometry of hydrogen. They tell us that hydrogen is the very first element, but hydrogen is the color yellow when you look at it through a spectrometer, and you never see the color yellow without seeing red and orange in front of it, and without seeing blue and green afterwards. And each one of these elements, each one of these colors represent an element. So what I'm saying is hydrogen isn't the very first element, it's just the first visible element. And all the other elements are descendants of that. And the same way we can paint colors and mix colors together, the children of Uganda with this new science will be able to mix elements together like you mix colors. And the same way you're able to mix music together, you will be able to now control the nature of things. We have the grand unified field equation in geometry with hydrogen, with the linchpin, which is what happens when four forces meet. The space that's left over, if you were to take four bubbles and try and push them together, the negative space where they don't touch is the element we call hydrogen. That they've given me the patent to, worldwide patent to.
Okay.
And I've turned that into a flying vehicle that has unlimited bonding. And we can now predict the entire periodic table from these same elements. So when MIT and Harvard and Yale will all have to come here to Uganda and to the University of Uganda in order to be able to teach or learn about this new geometry. With your permission, I would love for him to be able to bring two of these over to you,
Okay.
which is, can you take these over to, will he be able to see from here? I don't know how well you can see this,
I
but
can see very well.
this is the geometry of hydrogen. It ends up creating 6 pentagons. No, you should take both because I'll be able to demonstrate from here as well, but he can see them bonding by putting them together. Now this is just a model of the props. But it generates tangential flight, and that's the ability to fly around one's own center of mass.
So this is one.
This is just one of them, but you can put them together and bond them.
One molecule,
That's one atom.
one atom.
When two of them come together, they make the first molecule.
Okay.
Which
Okay. They are bonded together by their own.
yes, well, we put magnets on it, and you can now,
Or you put magnetism in. You are not contesting that hydrogen combines with oxygen to make water. But what you are adding on is that the previous description of the atoms was not accurate.
no.
That what they were calling the orbit was
Just
was the fallout.
it's the inertial plane. It's the discharge from the center of the electric charge
The discharge of the core
of the vortex.
of the nucleus. Oh, this is very interesting. Thank you so much. So, I give you land. How much land do you need?
Oh my God. Can I catch my breath?
Thank you so much. So, you are most welcome.
The First Lady, I read her book and I was love her book. So I wanted to give that to her. I heard that you went to North Korea.
From Kim Okay, people.
Yeah, you know.
Received, and I knew that I would one day be able to present it before heads of state. That didn't come from any school. On top of my head, and I kept trying to see his face, but I couldn't see his face. I wasn't allowed to see it. But these new shapes, wave conjugations, that didn't look like the Platonic solids. And I woke up, but from that motion, and rebuild the periodic table according to the proper form away from us. It's now been given to us again, and I want to bring that here.
You are most welcome.